Everyone, Beachy Racing here, of course with the one and only Vernon Beachy. Now before we get into all the 3-year-olds that you've selected for us to talk about, as well as some of those aged horses, let's kind of recap that 2024-2025 season. Of course in 2024 you had a Hambletonian Oaks contender, Allegiant, and then in 2025 you had the highest earning year in your career to date with over $833,000 made. Heck of a career you've had so far, and especially within the last 2 years.
The last couple years, we've gotten more and more horses. We can't get bigger without the good caretakers, owners, everyone involved. So it's not just me. But yeah, it's been good. It's getting better and better.
I'm happy you talked about the owners and your caretakers and the wonderful team that you have behind you. You know, starting back in 2011, I saw was your first start all the way up until now. Did you ever think it was going to get to this point?
No, I've never seen it come to this where it is now. And you know, obviously, I think when everyone starts, they want to train. I mean, for me, it was always quality trotters. Always loved working with the babies, but you know, I started with cheaper overnight horses and like to get trotters that made breaks. That's what I could afford and what my owners could afford, and we started with those and you know, learned how to try to make them better. And then one thing led to another, and then during COVID, I moved out to Ohio from Saratoga, and I moved out with 4 horses. And I think that would have been 2019 or 20 maybe. And it's led to, I think, with 39 horses in the barn right now.
Usually we would be catching up with you down there in Pinehurst. You've made the move up here to New Philadelphia, Ohio. You guys built this beautiful facility. It's been a little bit tough due to the fact that it's been really cold this year. You know, how have you been faring, and have you missed any days?
We've missed a few days here and there, I would say, like anyone up north. It's been an extremely cold winter. I guess it's been like that everywhere. I guess down in Pinehurst it was also, but yeah, I do really miss not being able to go golfing every day during the summer or during the winter down there. But we built a new place out here, you know, up here. Ryan Smith did, and we're here. We built. It's a nice 5/8 mile track, paddocks, nice barn, and everything. And so we decided to stay here for the winter. And it's kind of hard when you invest this much money into building a new place and then pack up and leave for the winter. So probably the next few years at least we'll be staying north.
We're going to start off with the first 3-year-old. This is Charlie's Money. She was a $14,000 yearling purchase last year, was in the top 5 of your Beachy earners. Talk to me a little bit about her and her training routine so far.
Charlie's Money has been one of the tough ones. So we bought her for $14,000, and I was at the Meadows one day racing it, and I said to Hunter, he said something about he should buy a baby. I said, you know, I bought a perfect one. I said, it's $14,000. It's not going to cost you a lot. So he bought a quarter of it. And honestly, if it wouldn't have been for Hunter, how high hopes he had for the filly, I probably would have got rid of her a long time ago before that, because she was very, very difficult. We had a heck of a time getting her to go, and then all of a sudden it clicked. When we came up north, we started swimming her. I put flip-flops on her last year. She wasn't training that great, and all of a sudden I'm like, this filly was terrible with flip-flops last year, and so I yanked them off and trained her, and we trained her, went in the bike yesterday, and she was awesome.
So what are your plans kind of for her in 2026?
So I guess we'll qualify and see where we're at. I feel like, you know, I don't know if she can go with the top fillies. If she advances from last year, before yesterday, I didn't think she was. I'll probably qualify her and probably maybe put her in that non-winners of 1 series at Northfield.
Speaking of the Hunter Myers series out up there, it must mean a lot to you, kind of a full circle moment to give this filly a chance to race in honor of Hunter. I know he meant a lot to you.
Definitely be cool to be able to race his horse that he had such high hopes for in a series named after him.
Absolutely. Now we are going to move on to Chip Shot. This was a homebred for the Owning Connections. Initially, this was trained by Weaver, but entered your barn mid-season. Kind of tell me a little bit about her.
Yeah, so John Slabaugh bought a quarter of a filly with us last year, a Pennsylvania filly, and then I think it was middle of the season. He asked if I'd be interested in taking Chip Shot, so yeah, I got her in a small filly and very, very gritty filly. There's not much to her, but she tries her heart out, and we tinkered with some shoeing, some equipment changes, and she got really good. And then in the Stallion Series final, she come in heat really bad, and I think her ovaries were really bugging her. So I didn't have her on Regimate, but then this year I started all the fillies on Regimate pretty early, and I wasn't going to let that happen again. So she's been training back good. Didn't grow as much as I wish she did, but she's training back good.
So you said you started all of your 3-year-olds on flip-flops, and talk to me a little bit, what's your reasoning behind that?
I guess I really don't have a reasoning for it, other than I've done it, always done it. All my babies and 3-year-olds, I always start back. I think it has to be better, softer on their feet. I think it's better for the knees.
So the padding, in a sense, you think it helps keep them sound?
I think it helps, yeah, I think it does. But I think there's also a point where you can keep them on too long.
Do you keep them on flip-flops the whole season, or will you switch to maybe aluminums or a different kind of shoe?
It depends on the horse. So there's quite a few of them that I do keep on flip-flops all year long, but a lot of them are getting them. We're taking them off now.
Are you still going to keep this one kind of in that Buckeye Stallion series kind of level?
We kept her eligible to the sire stakes, and then she was training back really good, and then I did the Moneymaker. I kept her eligible to the Moneymaker and the Curry and Ivies, I think, at the Meadows. But she's also eligible to the Buckeye series, the fairs. I mean, we kept her eligible that way. You don't really know until you go go racing against horses and go speed, then you really get a better idea.
We're going to move on, of course, to the next one here, which is Dublin's Brianna. This is a 3-year-old and a prize filly. Last year, she hit the board in 5 out of 6, making over $30,000 there, and won the Buckeye Stallion Series Constellation Final. Tell me a little bit about her.
So she's training back really good. Everyone made fun of me for buying the Enterprise. I like this filly. She's awesome gaited. But we struggled a lot with high livers and tying up issues last year with her. She seems like she's a much better, much healthier filly this year. She's training back. I couldn't be happier with her to this point.
We're going to move on here to Interstar Mill. This is a 3-year-old bar hopping filly, a $30,000 Lexington purchase last year. Hit the board in 4 out of 7 and won the PA Stallion Series Final.
She's training back good. Like she went through some spurts last year where she had a lot of growing pains, where she started out kind of a smaller filly and ended up being a decent sized filly at the end of the year. Then this year she came back, filled out a lot more and filled a lot bigger. Optimistic that she's probably still a Stallion Series horse, but hopefully she's a decent one.
Where are they all at kind of training right now, and kind of what's your plans for them when it comes to getting ready to qualify?
So the plan right now is probably to qualify on some of the Pennsylvania fillies and some of the better Ohio fillies at the Meadows on the 31st would be the plan for that. And then we'll kind of go by, sometimes I qualify twice, sometimes I don't. It all depends how ready I feel like they are and what they're getting ready for.
Gonna move on here to Rose Run Brook. She hit the board in 6 and 9 last year, made over $186,000. Finished second in that Ohio Sire Stakes Final.
Yeah, she was a really nice filly last year. Cost herself a lot of money, just immaturity breaks. And then this year, training back early, she really wasn't that great. Made a few changes, and she's been back to herself. Like, I feel like she's the last month and a half, she's trained back really nice, and so we're kind of prepping her towards the Hackett.
Kind of talk about what equipment changes you made for her.
Oh, she did part of the time last year too. She got to running in too bad training. We had an open bridle on her, and I like to start the 3-year-olds with an open bridle if I can, but she really doesn't like it. So we put a closed bridle on her, and she's been awesome since we did that.
Moving on to Victoriana's Secret. This is a 3-year-old tactical landing filly. In the top 5 of Beachy's highest earning horses, I should say, making over $80,000. Hit the board in 5 of 8, mainly raced in that Kentucky Sire Stakes. Scotty Zeron was the main pilot. What was his thoughts of her?
He after the first start at Red Mile, he said he thinks she's a really good horse. She's very tough. She's very, very high speed, but very tough horse to deal with during the week. Can be pretty hot. Starting out this year, coming back, she was pretty bad early on, but now she's become more manageable, and she's been trained back very good.
So you would say she's kind of was a little hot, kind of a little hard on herself, racing week to week.
Way too hard on herself. Well, last year we had we tried to put an open bridle on her, we couldn't. This year she's learned to relax with an ear hood and that open bridle. That's helped her a lot.
So what are your plans for Victoriana's Secret going into 2026?
She's staked to everything right now. She's getting pointed towards hopefully being ready for the Oak Grove race they got. So she's getting pointed towards that. So she's eligible to Raiders Crown, Hambo, all the big races. I think she's fast enough to go with those fillies if she can keep her head together. So
you have really high hopes for this filly, and really we should be keeping an eye out in May for that big Oak Grove race. Moving on to the next filly you have here, Wendell in Hanover. This is a 3-year-old green shoe filly. Kind of talk about her 2-year-old year and how she's doing now.
So I was really high on this filly last year, training down, and we kept her eligible to everything last year. Was a June foal, went through a lot of growing pains, and she grew from the start of the year to the finish of the year. She was completely different size-wise. The last leg of the Sire Stakes, she was sick, and then she was sick for the final, and then we just regrouped and got her ready for the Standardbred at Delaware. And I wanted to put her away on a good note, and she was good that day. She finished second and 56 in a piece at Delaware, so I was happy with that. Turned her out, and she come back a lot bigger, a lot more mature filly than she was last year. Like mentally, you can just tell mentally she's a lot more mature. I still kept her eligible to everything. I don't know if she's quite that level, but I really like the filly.
What first race is she kind of aiming towards?
Probably PA stakes.
Okay.
I'm hoping, we'll see after qualifiers, but I'm hoping I'm hoping she can be a PA Sire Stake filly.
Now we are moving on to the aged horses. Of course, the highest earner in your barn, kind of the star that stood out there in 2025, Surreal Ideal. This is an 8-year-old, So Surreal gelding. Did you think he was going to go from being an overnight horse to winning that free-for-all up there at Mohawk?
No clue. So we actually bought him for $20,000 off of Randy Casaville had just passed away, and his owner, the kid that owned him was an Amish kid, and he was getting ready to join the church, so he had to sell him. So that's why we bought him, and I thought we just bought a conditioned claimer for Northfield, and he was still a stud, so we decided to geld him, give him the proper time, and bring him. We were never really planning on racing over the winter. Brought him back, started racing him in the spring, and he constantly got better. And then he's gotten better as he's gotten older. And then we made a bridle change last summer again. Like we put an open bridle on him one day, and it's like a night and day. Going to Mohawk, winning that race, like my friend that owns him with me, he'll never forget that day as long as he lives. So that was pretty incredible.
Not only did he win that free-for-all up there at Mohawk, he also won 10 in a row and made over $230,000 last year. And talking about that bridle change, I noticed that you actually had him wearing a closed bridle and an ear hood training today. He looked super. Talk a little bit about why you don't train him with the open.
So we did early on, and he was way too excitable. He thought it was time to race. I said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to put an ear hood on him and put the closed bridle on, and now he's just like two fingers. You have to like ask him to go. I'd rather have him train back like that, and we can open him back up when he
needs to race,
yeah.
Right? When do you plan on qualifying him, and kind of what are your plans for him in 2026?
So I don't know the exact date, so it would be the Tuesday after the 31st or whatever that date is. Probably qualify at the Meadows, and I might race him his first start over there, and then we'll see where that leads us, but we staked him to the dam patch. The Breeders' Crown is here in Ohio this year, so we thought he raced good enough last year that he deserved a shot in some of those races.
Now we're going to move on to another aged horse you have here, ready for prime time. This is a 4-year-old's Better's Delight. This was purchased from the Andrew Harris Connections. You paid $50,000. Kind of talk to me about acquiring this horse, and you did race him one start there at Dayton. What were your initial impressions?
So we bought this horse not necessarily to race last. We were going to race him a few starts last year, and when we got him, he was pretty sore, was still a stud. So our plan was to buy him, race him a few times, and geld him, and then train him back with Surreal this spring, and hopefully have a horse that we can race at Sauda if Surreal's in the same night. So that was kind of the idea. So we same connections bought him, and we got him, raced him the one time. Wasn't happy with the way he raced. We said, you know what, we're just going to geld him and quit with him now. So we gelded him, and he's filled out a lot. He looks really good. He's jogging and training back really good.
So talking a little bit that you ended up gelding him, what was the reasoning behind the gelding?
I felt like he was a little sulky.
So in your opinion, from gelding him, has his attitude been better? Has he been less sulky on the track? I saw that he trained today, and he looked very good out there.
Yeah, I think he's a lot better. Before he would pace really wide behind, not near as bad now. Like when we raced him, he was hitting the bike really bad behind him. We had Brett's big bike on, and today he didn't even touch the bike. I think it's helped his gait and everything.
Very good. All right. Well, that is all we have for you. Thank you so much, Vernon, for your time. Hopefully, we'll be catching up with you very soon.